All right, welcome everybody. So today I am going to be covering a story of an agent who wasn't that good at following up with his unsold clients and unsold prospects, and ended up converting a significant percentage of his unsold clients into sales using a follow-up plan, a strategic follow-up plan. So I'm going to go over what he was running into for trouble, and then how the follow-up plan helped him. Please bear with me. I'm extremely exhausted while I'm filming this video, so I'm doing my best here. And also, if you want to work with me, reach out to me at the phone number in the bottom. I know it maybe doesn't go hand in hand. Hey, I'm tired. You want to work with me? But whatever, bear with me. If you go through this and you feel like, or you can reach out to me at all for anything, just shoot me a text at the number right there. Okay. So this agent's name was Jake. All right. Jake was not good at following up. When he talked on the phone, his clients would tell him things like, oh, hey, you're going to have to call me later. I'm working. I'm busy, whatever the case is. And Jake ran into that all the time. So Jake would be talking to someone and they'd be like, well, I'm busy. I have to go to my doctor's office. You're going to have to call me back, or I have something to take care of, or I'm working, or something like that. So Jake was making a mistake and he would say, okay, well, when do you want me to call you back? And it would be hard for a client to make a decision. So one thing that Jake started doing, and Jake learned from training, was to get times, right? To narrow it down. So, okay, I'll call you back. Do you prefer the afternoon or the evening? Do you prefer the morning or the afternoon? So I told Jake that what worked for me, and there may be other ways out there, but this is what worked for me, that I would be like, hey, I give them two options, because if you just leave it wide open, it's hard for them to pick. So, hey, are the mornings better or the afternoons better? Oh, I like the afternoons. All right, cool. I have an opening at 6 and an opening at 8. Which of those best for you? Give them two time options and let them pick. So Jake started doing that, and he was getting a lot more people to answer the questions quickly and confirm an appointment time. Now, what he was running into is that most of the people he called wouldn't answer when he called them back the first time around. And that's just going to happen. So I told Jake that he had to start assuming that only 1 out of every 10 people that he called would answer. Because that's typically what happens. Say you have 10 callbacks, 1 of them is going to answer. So just assume there's a 10% chance. Maybe a higher percentage of them will answer, but I would say like either 1 out of 10 will answer if you have 10 follow-up calls, or I'm going to have to call this person back 10 times for them to answer again. So that's what I was telling Jake. Hey, you have to adopt that mentality. Don't get discouraged if you call them back and they don't answer. If you call them back and they don't answer, send them a text message. Hey, it's Jake. We had an appointment at 6 to talk about your final expense plan. Where would you like me to take it from here? Or I'm sure you're busy. I'll reach out to you tomorrow. I have an opening at 10 and then at 11. Which of those is best? So there's so many things you can say. One thing may work on one client and one thing may not work on another. Okay. But I would always call and then text. So if, say, I called someone at night, I told Jake, hey, bro, if you're going to call someone at night, send them a text, call them again in the morning, and send another text. I told him that he wants to follow up with someone at least once a day. So what he started doing that really, really helped his answer rate, though, was before people would hang up, he started confirming with them why they wanted the insurance. So he's like, sure, I'll call you back. Great, I'll give you that call at 8 p.m. Just to confirm, you wanted this final expense plan for your daughter, is that right? If it was on the lead form, right? Or he'd try to figure it out. You wanted a final expense plan to cover your final arrangements for your daughter? That's what you put on the lead form? If it wasn't on the lead form, then I encourage him to ask, hey, now just real quick, if you pass and say you had a plan, who would get this money? Who would take care of your final arrangements? My daughter. Okay, so I'm going to call you tomorrow at 8. Remember, this is about the final expense life insurance plan to make sure that when you pass, your daughter's going to have money to take care of your funeral so she doesn't have to deal with any of that stuff, okay? Yeah, now, when he started doing that, he started getting a higher percentage of people who would actually answer on the follow-up calls. You're never going to get a lot of people to answer follow-ups the first call, but it was definitely a higher answer rate for those follow-ups. So sometimes there's going to be like listening to his calls. There are things that would happen where he'd have to follow up. Say you call someone and they're waiting for a ride to go to the doctor's office. Like there's nothing you can do about that, right? Like, yeah, they're going to leave. You can try to push this sale, but if you have to call back, do it. You may call someone who just, I don't know, for whatever reason, they don't want to talk to you at that time. It doesn't mean they don't want the policy. They filled out the form, right? Or whatever, however the lead was generated. Doesn't mean they don't want the policy. They just don't want to talk to you right now. And that's okay. Sometimes there's things that I don't want to talk to people about. Like I get irritated and I'm like, dude, not now. Right. So it can be that way too. Some could have been that way with some of his clients who would just shut him down. But he started following up more and creating a pipeline, because this is the thing. Most of your leads aren't going to answer. We all know this. A lot of the leads you call are never going to answer the phone ever. Right. So if you got someone who answers the phone, dude, give them a call. Like, that's a great lead. I love those leads. I love the ones that answer the phone. So keep it in a follow-up. All right. Now, if people are like, I'm not interested, I don't want any insurance, never call me again, I would still follow up with that person. Try to call them back in a few days, see if they change their mind, because they may not want it then, but it might not even be anything that you said at all. It just could be the circumstances of their day. They could have a lot going on. You literally never know. Maybe they just got off the phone with an insurance agent that they didn't want to talk to or pissed them off or something. So even if someone had told me, and I told this to Jake, even if someone told me that they didn't want me to call them back, I would still try to call them back, because I only got a certain amount of leads that I paid for. I've got to try to convert these leads, especially as a new agent, especially. So I'd call them back, and I told Jake that, hey, you got to consistently follow up with people, call them and text them once or twice a day until they tell you no, like a few times. You want to get a few no's. All right. You can really text whatever you want. Hey, just checking in about the life insurance. Hey, just want to see if there's a better time for me to call about your final expense plan. Hey, is final expense still on your to-do list? There's texts and stuff and templates all over YouTube that you can get. I found it doesn't really matter. I mean, you can text, obviously don't be like, oh, do you like Candyland or whatever, but text them something about the insurance. But it's just keeping at the front of their mind. The point of the texts in the follow-up is not to close someone like from the text message. The point of the follow-up is to keep them on their mind, so that, hey, when they're ready, boom, they're gonna jump to you. And then when they're ready to do it, a lot of it's timing of circumstance. So just get creative with your text. You can have ChatGPT make some. I'm sure there's YouTube channels of people who, have text message templates and stuff. I know I would just go through. I would do whatever. I would send a pic. I would be like, peace sign, take a picture, send it to him, be like, yo, what's up? It's Justin. We had our appointment today. Whatever. You got any other questions about the policy? Anything like that? So Jake started doing that and sending more text messages, and he started getting a lot of people who would reply in a text but not answer the phone. So he started working on drumming up business and bringing people through a sales process through a text message. I told him that if he texts someone and they answer, but they don't answer a phone call, try to bring them through the sales process in a text message anyway. Because if they're not going to answer the phone, there's no chance of them buying at all. Right? So text them. What do you get to lose? If they don't answer, you're not going to sell them anyway. So try to text them, follow a sales process. You can ask them too, hey, would you prefer, if they're not answering, or they're kind of like, oh, I can't talk right now or whatever, be like, hey, would you prefer I just get you this information over a phone, over text message? I can do that too. The response to that is huge. So if you have an appointment that doesn't answer, and you're like, hey, we had an appointment today. Just reminding you, we had our appointment at 8 p.m. to talk about life insurance. I know it's kind of late. It's not the most exciting topic in the world. Would you prefer I just send you some information? People love that. Everybody wants to get sent some information. It's just clickbait, right? Prefer I send you some information? Yeah, sure. Okay, great. Well, I'm just going to ask you a few questions to make sure I can know what I'm sending you the right information. And then you go through. You can ask some fact-finding questions about getting them about what their health conditions are, but also what they're going to use it for, where the death benefit will go to, how their loved ones will be how tough it'll be for their family if they pass and they don't have insurance. Don't get cheesy with the texts, right? Don't try to get too overly emotional. Basically, also be okay. Now, just curious, is this for a funeral, a cremation, or something else, like leaving extra money behind? And they'll usually tell you. So you can turn a call, and Jake does this all the time, turns a call that doesn't go anywhere into a sale through a text message, just from follow up. Like, it happens all the time. If you're not texting your clients, you got it. So that's with people who don't answer, or who cut you off in the middle of the sales process. But you're also going to get people who you don't close, right? From maybe they don't want to give you their bank info or their social, or they don't want to, I don't know, whatever the case is. They can't make a decision on their own. They got to think about it. They can't afford it, yada, yada, yada. You guys know all the rebuttals, all the objections that you can get. Try to handle it. Try to close them. Okay, try to close 5, 6 no's of the same objection. So you want to get people to tell you the same objection 5 to 6 times, and then follow up with them. Because, like, if someone went through that sales process with you, there's a huge chance they're going to go through a sales process again with someone else, and they're going to buy. Now, the only people I wouldn't chase down are obviously if it's unethical, if they like can't even talk, or they can't formulate coherent thoughts because they have dementia or something, then don't try to sell that person. If they can't qualify for anything at all, obviously don't follow up. And if they can't spend, if like $50 a month or less is too much money for them, I wouldn't follow up with those people either. And then like Direct Express, I don't know, you can follow up, but it's probably gonna fall off. You get paid as earned. I wouldn't put a ton of follow-up time in Direct Express. Or prepaid debit card. Prepaid debit card is way worse. Cash App, Chime, NetSpend, those are way worse than Direct Express. But anyways, follow up. And if they don't buy, follow up. Shoot them a text. You can even mail them. If it's a big policy, send them a letter. Right? Send them a text. Hey, I just want to send you the brochure for this policy. Right? Oh, hey, by the way, I know I gave you a bunch of information yesterday when we talked about the insurance. Do you care if I send you a brochure on it? Sure. Boom, boom. Send them a text message with the PDF of the brochure. If you don't have a PDF link, download the PDF from the carrier's website, upload it into Dropbox or Google Drive, and then send them the link to the Dropbox link or the Google Drive link for that. There's a great app for follow-up called Vidyard. So Vidyard is an app where you can just record a video and send it to your client through a link. That way, sometimes sending videos is weird, right? So especially with our clients, final expense clients, they got like Nextel Bleep phones still. So with Vidyard, you just take a little video, be like, hey, what's up? It's Justin. Just wanted to make you this video and say hi. Not really sure what I'm doing, but wanted to say hello. No, don't say that. You could. Honestly, I would have said that. I would have said whatever. I don't care. I'm just follow up. Be present in mind. If I didn't know what else to say, I'd rather say anything at all than nothing. But be like, hey, what's going on? It's Justin. I've just been trying to reach out to you over the last couple of days about the life insurance plan. Look, I understand it's a tough decision. Maybe you're not interested at all. It's fine. But my job is just to get you as much information as possible so that when you are ready, you know who to call. I'm going to be here. So let me know if there's anything that you need information on to make a decision or whatever the case is. Like, it doesn't matter. There's probably more clever things to say and follow up. And also I'm exhausted right now. I can't even think. But that's like things that I think are really like you just got to follow up, bottom line. So after you talk to someone, whether they buy or not, unless for any other disqualifying reason that I said, you want to send them a text message every day and call them every day. Okay? Build a follow-up chain. You're going to start to learn it for the people to follow up with versus not. But look if you're buying leads, you don't have much of a choice, because unless you can just afford an endless stream of lead orders, like you're going to leave those on the table. I used to mail people letters. If it was like a big policy, I'd mail them something. Hey, it's Justin. Just want to see. I closed a lot of sales from mailing people letters. I just mail them an application. Hey, it's Justin. Here's an application for the policy we talked about the other day. I know you didn't want to do it right then, but here's an application you can fill out now and just mail it back, and we'll process it. I would have people who would just literally fill it out and boom, return it. And I had to get voice signatures for those apps because they would always screw up on filling out the paper app. And most of you guys watching this probably wouldn't even know how to do a paper app if you had to, but because you brought up IntelliSales, right? But anything. Just be creative, guys. Be creative. Like send them a video, send them a picture, send them a text message, call. Like, especially for those people who are like, I got to think about it. I got to talk to this person and that person. And they're just saying that because they don't trust you enough to make a decision with you. That's it. Now, sometimes someone else does pay their bills or whatever the case is, right? We have those people who don't take care of themselves, and that's just our business sometimes. But think about this. When someone says they have to think about it, a lot of times they don't even have to think about it. They're not comfortable making a decision on their own. That's it. They don't know what to think. They need someone else to tell them what to do. And it's okay sometimes in a text message follow-up to do that. Hey, I know you were confused about what to get. You should get this. You should get the 15,000 because it'll cover XYZ, or you should get the 30,000 because it's going to cover XYZ. Is that too much a month? Hey, John, following up with you. I know we spoke yesterday about your life insurance plan. We covered some options. The $30,000 was $220 a month. Would that be too much for you? Is that why you had to think about it? So just be creative, guys. Okay, be persistent. Come up with different ideas. You're gonna find text messages and follow-ups that work for you, just like Jake has. I know I kind of lost it on my Jake story. I'm trying to make my channel more like storytelling because I guess that's like what you're supposed to do for a lot of views and stuff. But I'm gonna get better at it. Hope you like my goofy Zoom background. Sell in a Pro. Okay, over 3,833 years old, selling life insurance over a PO, YouTube. Okay, I'm just reading the background. But hey guys, if you found this helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Right? You got to create a 6-figure follow-up plan to make 6-figure. If you're not following up with these people, you're leaving so much money on the table. And as a new agent, you usually can't afford to do that. Okay. If you're not good enough to close these people on the first time around, you have to follow up until you get good enough to be able to close 1 out of 3 of your presentations, 1 or 2 out of 5. I got some agents that close 40% of the presentations that they give to the quote. Those other people are probably never going to buy, that don't buy from them because they're that good. They're probably not going to buy ever. And that just happens. Some of them might. But until you're that good, you got to follow up, man. Because what happens is you start here, right? Say you start here. Say this is where you start, and then this is where the client needs to be to make a decision on their certainty level. You're going through the sales process. Those monster closers, boom, they're up here. That person's making the decision on that call. But if you guys are new and you're not that great, you got to work your way up. And you may end the call and your client's right there. So follow-up helps bridge that gap between, hey, I don't know, I don't have enough information to make a decision. Now I do. I'm certain enough. Justin sounds sketchy. And that's the thing too, guys. When you're new, you sound sketchy. Like new agents sound sketchy on the phone. They fumble their script around. I might need, can you grab your checkbook? I need your account number. I'm exaggerating, but like that happens. A lot of new agents get scared to ask about account numbers. They get scared to ask for socials. We're in this customer service, like just do what we're told mindset, right? So until you learn how to be a jerk or be like stern and persistent, you might sound sketchy because you just don't sound confident sometimes. And if you don't sound confident, you're going to have to follow up to build that trust in you. I would be sketched out if someone called me and didn't sound confident. I'd be like, bro, why are you so nervous? Like, why are you nervous? Should I be nervous? Should I be nervous about this? So if you're a veteran agent and you're a beast at closing, still follow up, but you're going to have less people to follow up with and you're probably going to know, like, this person is a complete tire kicker. They're never going to buy. But before then, look, you got to follow up. You got to follow up and convert these leads. We sell aged leads here. All our new agents start on aged leads. An aged lead sale is cool. We get a lot of aged lead sales. But why is it not cool? Because that lead should have been sold the first time around. And the only reason it wasn't sold the first time around is because that first agent didn't follow up enough. That's it. And I guarantee you 90% of the people that you sell as new final expense leads, 80% of them, maybe, they were someone else's lead before. Whether it was Mutual Omaha mailing them or them calling in the Colonial Penn commercial, whatever the case is. I guarantee that most of these people that buy were someone else's lead before, and they just did not follow up with them enough to close them. Well, number one, they weren't good enough at closing to begin with to close them right there. Number two, they didn't follow up with them enough. So I hope this helps you guys learn how to follow up. Thank you for bearing with me on my exhaustion. Actually, I bought a new desk. I have a glass desk here. I don't know why they only had glass ones, but it raises up and down. And today I was trying to film a video and I adjusted my microphone and the glass shattered. So I put my mic on this post now. I didn't use it for this video though. I probably should have, but whatever. But like some echo and stuff. But all right, cool. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Reach out to me if you want information on our sales system. Reach out to me, anything at all though. If you got questions about follow-up, shoot me. Actually, I prefer you send me an email. jve@thejve.com. I get like thousands of texts a day, literally. So it would take me longer. And email is so easy because it just go through. So email me. But guys, hey, thank you so much. You're going to want to watch the next video coming up about how you can make a bunch of money as a new insurance agent. Check this out. You don't want to miss it. Thank you.